I guess somebody didn't want us to show it.
Right.
We back live. Just get a show of ones in the chat just to make sure the audio is coming through clearly. And that's why around here, we always keep a backup.
David Courtney.
Mic check 1, 2. Yeah, we back live on the front end. I'm posting the link right now in the chat.
Yep.
And I posted the link in the back chat as well. So whenever we're ready, we can get started.
All right. Microgreens. Why don't I just close it out as soon as I put this? Man.
I have it on screen as well.
All right. Microgreens. Microgreens are vegetable greens. Mic check.
1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2.
Peace to the chat.
1, 2.
Microgreens are vegetable greens, not to be confused with sprouts or shoots, harvested just after. Oh wait, what is that? It looked like coitus. Cotyledon leaves. Matter of fact, hold on. My bad. I had to click that link. Okay, cotyledon, a seed leaf. That is your seed leaf. Cotyledon leaves have developed, and possibly with one set of true leaves. True leaves are your leaves that come out after your seed sprouting leaves. They are grown or purchased by people focused on nutrition. Hot link. Or else are used as both a visual and flavor component, primarily in fine dining restaurants. Hint. Chefs use colorful microgreens to enhance the attractiveness and taste of their dishes with distinct, delicate textures and unique flavors such as sweet and spicy. Microgreens are smaller than quote-unquote baby greens, e.g. spinach, kale, arugula, radicchio, but harvested later than sprouts, e.g. broccoli, mung bean, soya bean, wheat, and sunflower. Among upscale grocers, they are now considered a specialty genre of greens, good for garnishing salads, soups, sandwiches, and plates. Edible young greens are produced from various kinds of vegetables. Huh?
You said plates. I thought you was handing out plates. I want one.
Soon. Edible young greens are produced from various kinds of vegetables, herbs, or other plants. They range in size from 1 to 3 inches, including the stem and leaves. The stem is cut just above the soil line during harvesting. Microgreens have fully developed cotyledon leaves, and usually one pair of very small, partially developed true leaves. And I've seen in some cases they don't even get to the true leaf. It's just the starter leaves only. The average crop time for most microgreens is 10 to 14 days from seeding to harvest. No curing. Gabrielle,
Yes.
you want to read for me real quick, please? Please, I appreciate it.
Okay, I'm on history, right?
Correct.
All right. History. Microgreens began showing up on chefs' menus as early as the 1980s in San Francisco. In Southern California, microgreens have been grown since about the mid 90s. There were initially few varieties offered. Those available were arugula, basil, beets, kale, and cilantro, and a colorful mixture of those called rainbow mix. Having spread eastward from California, they now begin grown. No, they are now being grown in most areas of the United States with an increasing number of varieties. Today, the U.S. industry of microgreens consists of a variety of seed companies and growers.
Hot links.
Hot links.
Hot links. We can let me give an updated shout out piece to the chats. Macadon Juan, Grand Rising. You got 20 minutes. David Corey, Peace and Grand Rising. Liz Robinson, Grand Rising. Wild Indian Roots, Copper Indio in the chat and on the panel. Peace and Grand Rising. Who is Phoenix Rose Orbit? I don't even know. It's an 8 instead of an I. I don't know who that person is. Grand Rising. Mr. TJ, Peace and Grand Rising. Who else we got? P. Parker, Miss Parker. I don't know if she was here earlier. Everybody said happy belated birthday to you. Happy belated birthday, P. Parker. Liz Robinson, Pamela Hall, Grand Rising. Mike Easton, peace. Don't come to DC if you ain't got nothing for the people. Peace to the chats.
Twitch, unless you want a foot.
And the website. Unless you want an arm bar. Some tap out shorts. Peace, y'all.
I think that come with a side of teeth too.
I'll go ahead and read form if y'all are cool with that.
Yep.
All right.
Form. Microgreens have three basic parts: a central stem, cotyledon leaf or greens, and typically the first pair of very young true leaves. They vary in size depending upon the specific variety grown, with the typical size being 1 to 1.5 inch, or 25 to 38 millimeters in total length. When the green grows beyond this size, it should no longer be considered a microgreen. Larger sizes have been called petite greens. Microgreens are typically 2 to 4 weeks old from germination to harvest. Both baby greens and microgreens lack any legal definition. The term baby greens and microgreens are marketing terms used to describe their respective categories. Sprouts are germinated seeds that are typically consumed as an entire plant, root, seed, and shoot, depending on the species. For example, sprouts from almond, pumpkin, and peanut reportedly have preferred flavor when harvested prior to root development. Sprouts are legally defined and have additional regulations concerning their production and marketing due to their relatively high risk of microbial contamination compared to other greens. Growers interested in producing sprouts for sale need to be aware of the risk and precautions summarized in the FDA publication, Guidance for Industry, Reducing Microbial Food Safety Hazards for Sprouted Greens. published by the FDA in 1999.
Make you think about sprouts now, huh?
Well, that's interesting that it has no category except for marketing, and that's what they're called it.
Right.
Or no official definition.
Which is very more funny about it, knowing that is they created a marketing category for this that followed with tons of finances just off a category created for marketing.
Oh man, we didn't even think about when we were discussing this. Well, I know we thought about it, but this wasn't part of it. Can we connect agro businesses eventually? I know that we're going to go there anyway. Agro business.
Also, microgreens? Oh, yes, you can.
Specialty crops.
You have people now averaging $2,000 a week off of microgreens, and that's on the low end.
Yeah. That sounds a little self-sufficient to me. You just sourcing seeds.
Yes, it is.
And grow equipment. Okay, we'll get to that. We're not done.
Next, we got growing. It says growing microgreens is relatively easy. Many small backyard growers have sprung up selling their greens at farmers markets or to restaurants. Let me read that again. Growing microgreens is relatively easy. Many small backyard growers have sprung up selling their greens at farmers markets or to restaurants. A shallow plastic container with drainage holes, such as a nursery flat or prepackaged salad box, will facilitate sprouting and growing out of a small scale. Growing and marketing high-quality microgreens commercially is much more difficult. Artificial lighting is not necessarily needed for growing microgreens. This is because microgreens can grow under various lighting conditions, including under indirect natural light and grow lights, or even in complete darkness. Different lighting conditions can change the flavors of microgreens being grown. For instance, corn microgreens. Again, for instance, corn microgreens are sweet when grown in the dark, but become bitter when exposed to light due to photosynthesis processes taking place in the sprouting plants. Nightshade family plants such as potatoes, tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers should not be grown and consumed as microgreens, since nightshade plant sprouts are poisonous. Nightshade plant sprouts contain toxic alkaloids such as, soline, and tropanes, which can cause adverse symptoms in the digestive and nervous systems. So again, any nightshade plants should not be eaten in them stages, period. Unless you want some issues.
Yeah, you might as well eat some raw meat. Alkaloids such as solanine and tropanes. I ain't messing with nothing like that. Sound like it's supposed to go in the gas grill.
Or car.
That too. Solenoid, you got a solanine problem in your body. All right. Nutritional analysis. Man, I'm about to mess some words up. I like how y'all do me. ARS scientists analyze key nutrients. Okay, that's just a picture. All right. Nutritional analysis. That was a nutritionist one. Studying. Researchers at the USDA Agricultural Research Service have published, as of early 2014, several studies that identify the nutritional makeup and the shelf life of microgreens. 25 varieties were tested. Key nutrients measured were ascorbic acid, vitamin C, tocopherols, vitamin E, phylloquinone, vitamin K, and beta carotene, a vitamin A precursor, plus other related carotenoids. Look at that, the carrot. Shout out to the beta carotenes. In the cotyledons, damn it, darn it, swear jar. Cotyledons. Sorry. Among the 25 microgreens tested, red cabbage, cilantro, garnet amaranth, and green daikon radish, had the highest concentrations of vitamin C, carotenoids, vitamin K, and vitamin E, respectively. In general, microgreens contained considerably higher levels of vitamins and carotenoids, about 5 times greater than their mature plant counterparts, an indication that microgreens may be worth the trouble of delivering them fresh during their short lives. Remember, Gabrielle, I was talking about that earlier about bagged
You mean all
microgreens in
the
the
stuff
store.
that I was showing off in the window? I got all that in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm healthy, y'all. Whoop, whoop.
Well, you got to eat them before they start to grow to their full growth to get all that.
Oh, one tray already going down for lunch. Already planned it.
Might as well. Look, that's another thing about microgreens too. It takes about 7 days before you can actually just grab and go. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even have to put it on anything. You can just eat a handful of microgreens. Talk about some nutrition. Talk about a shot. Forget some wheatgrass. You gotta get you some microgreens, which is considered a microgreen.
That's my lunch today, a microgreen salad. Play with it.
There you go. Yeah, you better be over nutritionalized.
It costs me 5 to 7 days.
That's it.
Put it in the dirt, water it, and let it go.
Y'all better stop.
Now let me stop.
Popping these. Let's stop popping these multivitamins and get you some microgreens.
Mm-hmm.
A nutritional study of microgreens was done in the summer of 2012 by the Department of Nutrition and Food Science, University of Maryland, indicating promising potential that microgreens may indeed have particularly high nutritional value compared to mature vegetables. Bimu Patil, a professor of horticulture and director of the Vegetable and Fruit Improvement Center at Texas A&M University, agrees that microgreens may potentially have higher levels of nutrients than mature vegetables, but he says more studies are needed to compare the two side by side. Quote, "This is a very good start, but there can be a lot of variation in nutrients depending on where you grow it, when you harvest, and the soil media," Patil says, unquote. Patil says, when choosing a microgreen, researchers say to look for the most intensely colored ones, which will be the most nutritious. And we all know if you eat the rainbow of vegetables, you'll be more nutritious than just grabbing greens off the shelf. So get your purples in you, and your yellows and your oranges and all of them things.
Yeah, and consider this. That's nature's way of making those kinds of foods palatable, not only to the stomach but to the eyes.
Right.
Because it's the color that comes from these greens are designed to make us to catch our eye and catch our attention, so that way we want to try these plants and eat them.
Stop and graze.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's this? There's some rainbow chard over here. Results of the microgreens research project conducted by the University of Maryland and the USDA has garnered attention from several national media outlets, including National Public Radio, NPR, and the Huffington Post.
Hey, I know NPR. That's what we got up. Never mind.
National.
Y'all know who the Huff Post is. The Huff Post lady. Gabrielle.
Yes.
Stop clicking them
Well,
blue
I had to
links.
feel you over there either planting some microgreens or ordering some.
Well,
She clicking
okay,
links.
so So
You lying. Whatever you about to say is a lie. Heard it in your voice. You just started scatting on everybody.
Well,
It's not working out for you guys.
Look.
We know what you're doing. Everybody knows you click links.
Okay.
That's like you asked her where the cookies are. She would go, "Oh no," and the crumbs flying out of mouth.
It's like, yes, now I got a new teardrop tattoo. Cookie crumbs
I
on my
got
face.
caught the other day. No lie.
Put your hand in the cookie jar.
Right. So we had grilled some Brussels sprouts, right? And I always use, I usually use smoked paprika and garlic on it. Just throw it on the grill, right? And so the Brussels sprouts were done. Well, I didn't think nobody was in the rooms. I didn't hear nobody, I didn't see anybody. So I went into the kitchen and I started eating on the Brussels sprouts. Well, I took one last one and I went in the room, and both Vince and my son came in and said, "What you doing?" I was like, "Nothing." Now, mind you, my cheeks did not hide. I thought I had chewed it enough to where it wouldn't poke out the side of my face, but didn't realize that I was talking funny at the same time. So it's like nothing. It's like, what's that in your hand? Because I tried to hide it under the blanket, one under the blanket, one in my cheek.
Wait. You're hiding Brussels sprout? Get away from me.
Because look, I said everybody would snatching stuff while I'm cooking.
They got you.
So
they got you
caught me.
You probably got mad at them talking some no privacy. I ain't got no privacy in this house.
For real, like really.
Shout out to Jay Susquehanna this rising for sharing his progress in the garden. Yeah, and if it's cool with everyone that's been sending in their progress, I want to put a page on the website, a gardening page, just to show the work that the community been doing, showing a visual log of everything that we have been doing this whole time.
Yep.
Because again,
original
the work that we are doing, it's sweat equity.
Yep.
The work that you're doing in your garden is sweat equity. And now it's just putting it in order, organizing it, tracking it, so that way we can get credit for it. So again, if the community comfortable, all the pictures y'all done sent in, we'll put a page up just for gardening showing all the success. And every week
that goes for video as well. If you're doing YouTube videos, Original Tiller doing YouTube videos, David Corey, and anybody else recording your gardens, send it in if you want to post it up. We'll definitely post it up, and that counts, and save it. I would encourage anybody that has a garden, start taking pictures, start logging your inventory of things that you're getting, you're purchasing with your own funds. Take inventory. Start documenting everything.
Better know it. Sweat equity. How else you gonna cash it in if you don't document it? What we got next? Microgreens and sprout comparison.
Yeah, we are.
Hold
up, real quick. Let me get them out of here. And it's still the rising, so it'll be easier. Peace to the chat. Kato Kane 7. Why was I in the middle of it? I'm in the middle of the chat. My bad. Kato Kane 7 Grand Rising. P. Parker. Happy belated birthday again. Earth Day. Yeah, that's me.
Earth Day. Yeah, that's.
Who else we got? Mr. TJ, I called out. Grand Rising. Kato Kane 7. All right, I'm caught up. Dion Lowe. Grand Rising. Jay Susquehanna. Keep it coming. And that's what we got right now. Peace, everybody. Peace to the chats. And anybody on Twitch. I know Big Nelson, and if I remember correctly, One Dream 33 on the Twitch chat. Grand Rising, if you're there. You got it. I yield the mic.
Microgreens and sprout comparison.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
No.
Well, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, we are on it.
Yeah, I got stuck. I'm glad you did that. I don't know what I was about to say. All right.
That's crazy. My bad. I didn't mean. Well, I guess I did mean to say. I did it on purpose. Yeah. We here. We up. We awake. We are awake.
Man. What's this in my pocket? Oh. No, it was
Copper,
really something in my pocket.
Read it? I'm reading.
I'm reading.
Miss Gabby, go ahead and do your thing, Miss Gabby. I got you.
You got it.
I got you, Miss Gabby. I got you. It's all right.
I had a turtle moment. My bad.
Are you sure?
I put my hand in my pocket and I felt paper. I was like, wait, but I didn't realize. I said, what's this in my pocket? It said double cousin laugh.
Miss Gabby.
I just had to, you know what?
Miss Gabby, if you got business to take care of, that's fine. I can read this for you. It's all right.
No, I'm reading.
Okay.
I think she's here with us, Copper. She made it.
I'm here.
All right.
Okay, I'm here. I'm reading microgreens. Sprout comparison. Wow. Sprouts are germinated or partially germinated seeds. A sprout consists of the seed, root, stem, while microgreens are harvested without the roots. Microgreens have stronger flavors compared to sprouts and come in wide selections of leaf shapes, textures, and colors. Microgreens are grown in soil or soil-like materials such as peat moss. Also, hold on because I was just looking at this. Nope. Also, it is called Terra Fiber Hemp Grow Mat
Or cocoa coir.
or cocoa. You got it. Say it for me.
Cocoa coir.
There you go.
Or cocoa peat or any. Technically, you can grow microgreens in any medium. I would say anything that roots can attach to, because I know you know that you can grow stuff in sand. You can grow on carpet. If you didn't know, I wouldn't do that. Not for no nutrition, but yeah, things sprout out of carpet is all I gotta say. Particularly floor
Microgreen.
mat bars. Just gonna keep it there.
Put it at the front door. Okay. Microgreens require Microgreens require high light levels, preferably natural sunlight with low humidity and good air circulation. Microgreens are planted with very low seed density compared to sprout processing. Crop times are generally 1 to 2 weeks for most varieties, though some can take 4 to 6 weeks. Microgreens are ready to harvest when the leaves are fully expanded. Harvesting is usually with scissors cutting just above the soil surface, excluding any roots. Some growers sell them while still growing, rooted in the growing trays so that they can be cut later. Once removed from their growing environment, these trays of microgreens must be used quickly or they will rapidly begin to elongate and lose color and flavor. Sprout seeds are soaked in water for usually 8 hours and then drained. A high density of seeds is placed inside of sprouting equipment or enclosed containers. The seed germinates rapidly due to high moisture and humidity levels maintained in the enclosures. Seeds can also be sprouted in cloth bags that are repeatedly soaked in water. The sprouting process occurs in dark or very low light conditions. These dark, wet, crowded conditions are ideal for rapid proliferation of dangerous pathogenic bacteria. After a few days of soaking and repeated rinsing in water several times a day to minimize spoilage, the processing is complete and the sprouts are ready to consume. The conditions that are ideal for properly grown microgreens do not encourage the growth of dangerous pathogens. These growing methods would not work for the production of sprouts. Okay. However, the potential for food safety issues with microgreens may be increasing due to the number of indoor microgreen growing operations in which excessive seed density, low light intensity, low air circulation, or most commonly, a lack of GAP, good agriculture practices, and GMP, good manufacturing practices, based food safety procedures. Certain provisions of the guidance for industry reducing microbial there we go, microbial food safety hazards for sprouted seeds may be beneficial and prudent for growers of microgreens to follow. Also, Not all plants can be grown as microgreens due to toxicity concerns. For instance, nightshade plants, eggplants, tomatoes, potatoes,
Are we reading something?
you name it, etc., should not be grown as microgreen sprouts since nightshade sprouts are toxic. You know,
You know.
This is part of why when plants like tomatoes made their way back to Europe, well, into the colonies and into Europe, they thought that tomatoes were toxic because they're nightshade plants. So the way they were trying to eat them and the way they saw them in comparison to other nightshade plants, let's say like eggplants or maybe even orchids, would be considered to be toxic. So that's why they thought tomatoes were toxic until the common folks started to say, well, look, we ain't got nothing else to eat. We're going to eat these.
right,
You wouldn't have what we now call the pizza in its current form without the introduction of the tomato to the Italian population.
right,
Because before then, it was pita. You know how you get the pita bread from the store to make sandwiches and things like that? They were using that. And once the tomato was introduced, they made a larger pita bread, the flat bread that they got from Turkey, added tomato, added the tomato that they had broken down and pureed and so forth onto it, made into a sauce, and that became what we now call like the Neapolitan pizza.
right.
AKA in America, vegetables.
Yes.
And even remember, this explains the potato problem. You remember in Europe when they had the problem when they started growing the potatoes and people got sick? It's because they were eating them too early.
Too early. Everybody should know as an adult, you're not supposed to eat no potato too early.
Right.
Get sick, eat a potato too early.
Right. And because you have a lot of people that were essentially hungry, I mean, that's the part that gets left out of the colonization and the need for it, hunger. People were hungry. They started to say, well, wait a minute, this stuff is just growing. Let's just go ahead and eat. And while in some cases, like with microgreens, you get a lot more nutrition out of the plant early on, with these, you got to wait till they reach maturity before this stuff becomes edible.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have no takers, I'll go ahead and finish this off with storage and commercial transport.
You got it, dude.
All right. Storage and commercial transport. Microgreens have a short shelf life, and better methods of storing and transporting microgreens are currently being studied, which at this time are mainly focusing on buckwheat. Commercial microgreens are most often stored in plastic clamshell containers, which do not provide the right balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide for any live greens to breathe. Although packaged materials called films, differences in permeability, see permeation, that link, are referred to as oxygen transmission rate. The ARS or Rs researchers found that buckwheat microgreens packaged in films with an oxygen transmission rate of 225 cubic centimeters per square inch per day had a fresher appearance and better cell membrane integrity than those packaged in other films tested. Following these steps, the team maintained acceptable buckwheat microgreen quality for more than 14 days, a significant extension according to authors. The study was published by the LWT Food Science and Technology in 2013. Light-emitting diodes, otherwise known as LEDs, now provide the ability to measure impacts of narrow band wavelengths of high on seedling physiology. The carotenoid zeaxanthin has been hypothesized to be a blue light receptor in plant physiology. A study was carried out to measure the impact of short duration blue light on phytochemical compounds, which impart the nutritional quality of sprouting broccoli microgreens. Broccoli microgreens were grown in a controlled environment under LEDs using growing pads. Short duration blue light acted to increase the important phytochemical compounds influencing the natural value of broccoli microgreens. Now, some perspective on this. The colors in the spectrum of light that are used in these light emitting diodes or LEDs simulate the type of sunlight that you're getting from the sun and the atmosphere in the sky at a given point in the day. The frequency of sunlight that you're going to get at 8 a.m. is not going to be the same frequency you're going to get at 11 a.m.
Correct.
or at 2:30 p.m.
or high noon, or evening when the sun is setting.
Right. The sun, as the sun moves across the sky as we see it, you're going to get a whole rainbow of different spectrum light, and so these LEDs simulate that. So the bluer part of the spectrum is going to emulate dawn and dusk. So when there's not as much direct sunlight out, you have everything has a bluer hue. If you have a clear day, that is, than it would if it was like, say, noon. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind, because that's basically what you're teaching the plants to think as far as how they mature.
Yeah, when you're growing with LEDs, when you're not using the natural sunlight, artificial light, the LEDs specifically.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop one last link on microgreens for the day that we can go through, which is very beneficial. And it's the top 10 questions about growing microgreens for profit. So anyone that's interested in pushing, following it all the way through. Give me 1 second and I'll have it in the chat. We'll actually
Also, check out the forum where the playlist for the Green Thumb tips and tricks that we have does have microgreen videos showing you how to start a business or just how to grow microgreens in general, even if you're not starting a business. But the business aspect is in the playlist as well, a few times from a few different people that are teaching and actively growing microgreens. So yeah. Also, that video that we try to play today it's already there, but yeah, it's on the forum. It's there. www.autonomousassembly.com. Questions, comments, concerns, and/or corrections, please email us or us in the chat. autonomousassembly@gmail.com.
All right, got the link in the chats and the back chats as well.
I can read the introduction. Somebody want to get to the questions?
All right.
I can read the questions if you want.
That's cool.
Or not. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You just want to say that. You finally not clicking links, I see. It's the only time you talk to us. Yo, Bones, are you recording? I hope. Oh, yeah, we're on YouTube. When you're on YouTube, it's being recorded. Just as for people who didn't know how it worked. But no, yeah, Bones, just make sure we chop some of these up. We might need them for sound effects.
Already own it.
Growing microgreens. Shout out to profitableplantsdigest.com. Top 10 questions about growing microgreens for profit. Growing microgreens for profit can be a great way to turn your gardening skills into a solid income for selling your microgreen crop to local grocers, individuals, and restaurants. Microgreens became popular about 20 years ago when a few trendy California chefs started growing and using them to add quote unquote bling to their garnishes and salads. I don't think Lil Wayne got paid for that one. But he should be. The popularity has continued to grow, with microgreens named as one of the hot new food trends by several restaurant magazines, even National Public Radio. There he is again. They're just showing up everywhere. NPR. This popularity has increased a steady demand for this microcrop and made it one of the best new crops for urban farmers, as it takes very little space to grow microgreens indoors or outdoors. If you're considering starting an urban farm with microgreens as a primary crop, here are the top 10 questions and answers about this popular specialty crop. Going on mute. Peace to the chat.
What is? I'm reading questions or answers.
You what? I lost.
I'm about to say I lost.
You can read the questions and Copper can read the answer. However y'all want to pull it off.
That's fine.
It's on y'all.
Okay.
I'm here trying to learn like everybody else.
Me too.
You're letting me be myself.
That boy. Bad. Okay. What are? Nope. Where am I at? What is a microgreen?
Microgreens are tiny edible plants that are older than a sprout but younger than a full-grown plant. Microgreens are harvested after the first true leaves have developed. They are the smallest of the salad greens and can be grown from almost any plant variety that will produce a mature plant, such as beet, radish, or mustard.
Okay. What's the difference between sprouts and microgreens?
Because of their size, microgreens are often confused with sprouts. They are not sprouts. Sprouts are just germinated seeds grown in water that are eaten whole, with the seed, root, and stem all still attached. Microgreens are not grown in water, as are sprouts. They are commonly grown in soil or on a sterile growing mat, such as a fiber mat. Hence what Nosala was saying about how it could grow on carpet or something like that.
Right.
The seed density for microgreens is much lower than for sprouts, which allows plenty of room for each tiny plant to grow and prevents the disease problem common to sprouts. Microgreens are harvested by cutting without any roots.
Can I grow microgreens in my area climate?
Unlike most crops, microgreens can be grown almost anywhere, even during the winter in northern climate zones. Because microgreens take so little space, it is practical and profitable to grow them indoors when weather conditions do not permit outside growing. Case in point, I want to put an asterisk on that. I started growing Russian kale, and it's been an interesting experiment. I chose that because I knew that we were getting a cooler spring than we had previously, and I wanted and not nearly as much sunlight as you would think we would have around this time of the year, and they have flourished. And I'm as a matter of fact, today I'm going to go and harvest some and cook them and see how they taste. But these are greens that normally in Russia grow pretty well and thrive in not a whole lot of sunlight or heat. So
Right.
since we've had fairly rainy spring without a lot of direct sunlight, and until recently cooler temperatures here in Virginia, they've grown really well, better than the tomatoes I started.
Right. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
What are the best plants to grow as microgreens?
Because microgreens are widely used to add zing to a main course or salad, the most popular varieties are the spicy ones. These include arugula, which adds a spicy, peppery flavor to other foods, basil, celery, cabbage, cilantro, a widely used spicy herb, endive, I guess, or endive, mustard, and tangy radish. In addition to the popular spicy microgreens, growers still also produce a wide range of colorful greens, such as rainbow chard or kale.
How much money can a microgreen business make?
Because the crop cycle is so short, the commercial growers can make a good income in a very small space. Most microgreen varieties are ready to harvest in about 2 weeks, so a capable grower can produce 20 to 25 crops per year. By stacking the growing channels or trays vertically, 4 times as much can be produced in the same space. Using a 4-rack system, many growers are producing an average of 50 pounds of microgreens in a 60 square foot growing area per 2-week crop cycle. At $25 per pound, that's a return that beats just about any other legal crop. Most growers report an average harvest of 5 to 6 ounces of microgreens per single tray, or 10 inches by 20 inches, when grown in a single level, such as a tabletop.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
That's pretty significant. Yields a return that beats just about any other legal crop.
So in 2 weeks, you can flip it around and make $25 per pound. I hear Gabrielle typing. Sound like math to me.
Dang. Actually, I was looking to see where they got metal racks at.
I told you where I found mine from.
Yeah.
Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. Everybody has them. You can
Even check your mom and pop. Your mom and pops, grocery stores, a lot of local meat packaging companies and stuff like that. They have the old racks. Because that's where I got mine from.
Yeah.
Let me think. Who around here?
And I just asked them because they were just sitting out there.
Store closings, you can get stuff from store closings too.
And somebody thought they were going to tell me no.
Oh. I need to go on here. Oh, wait, I'm asking a question. I'm sorry. Are special seeds required for microgreens?
The seeds used for microgreens are untreated seeds, preferably organic, that are the same seeds used to grow full-size plants. As the plants are grown much closer together, it takes more seed to grow microgreens than field-grown crops. That's why purchasing seeds from a wholesale source is a must for profitability.
What kind of soil does microgreens require?
Although many hydroponic growers use no soil to produce microgreens, growing in soil is easier for most small growers. Any high-quality potting soil will work, especially those fortified with natural nutrients such as kelp.
When should microgreens be harvested?
Most microgreens are ready to harvest when they have produced a second set of leaves known as true leaves. Some growers also let the microgreens continue to grow an additional week or so to produce baby greens, also a popular and profitable sideline crop to sell to buyers. That's what I'm doing now with kale, because I let the initial leaves go and now the true leaves are growing in. And they're actually turning purple. Wow. Really pretty.
So one crop you can have two different financial streams coming from. You can do half as microgreens and the other half as baby greens.
That's right.
Shout out to A2. Nope. Okay. Nope. I'm on when should microgreens be harvested, right?
No, you're on number 9 now. Do microgreens.
Does microgreens have special nutritional value?
Studies have shown many microgreens such as red cabbage, broccoli, and radish often contain up to 40 times more nutrients than mature plants. According to Professor Mung at the University of Maryland, microgreens are 40-fold more concentrated with nutrients. His research team tested 25 different commercially grown microgreens and found consistently high levels of important nutrients like vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K, lutein, and beta-carotene. Dr. Jean Lester, a USDA researcher, says, quote, all these nutrients are extremely important for skin, eyes, fighting cancer, and have all sorts of benefits associated with them. To find these high levels of nutrients, I find that quite astonishing.
How how much does it cost to start a microgreen business?
Because growing microgreens does not require extensive equipment like tractors and tillers, the startup cost can be quite affordable, as low as just a few $100s. Even indoor growers can use low-cost fluorescent fixtures to keep costs down, and outdoor growers can build a basic hoop house to grow microgreens for about $3 per square foot.
Mm.
One successful grower has called microgreens the best shoestring startup for new urban farmers. I probably should have an asterisk with it. To learn more about starting your own microgreen business, read "Growing Microgreens for Profit."
It's a hot
That's
link.
a link. Yes, it is.
Man, look. I'm getting these trees cut down in my backyard. I'm gonna have a hoop house in my backyard. That's all I'm saying. For real. Nice little door coming through the side of the hoop house.
Any insight from the panel what we covered this rising?
Man, it's an insight.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got into this unwittingly because I wanted to try something different this year as far as growing. I didn't have a whole lot of time to tend to crops. I don't have quite as much space. My son is pretty much taking over my living space, so I'm much more limited than I had been previously. And microgreens have actually worked pretty well for me. Between taking stuff like this kale, and I got a mint plant, so I'm not doing anything that's really big this year, but what I have has flourished even with the strange weather we've been having. And I know that's slowed a few things down, like some of the tomatoes that I planted, but yeah, I mean, it seems to have worked really well.
That's what's up.
And especially seeing as this is something that's I know it was referred to as a fad. Yeah, I want to say in the previous link, but this is stuff that sit-down restaurants are offering on their entrees to people. You know, this is stuff people are paying money to eat, and it doesn't cost a whole lot of money as we've shown here. You could easily get this started. You could easily grow these greens long enough to harvest them and to continue harvesting them. And as the article said, I mean, this is a fairly big rate of return on investment. For the little bit of money it takes to get this started, you can make a lot of money, and at least this is legal. You know, you don't have to worry about having to protect a crop that, you know, it could be it could either land you in a bad situation or have other people trying to get in on your crop for free.
Kicking in
So,
just for the
right. So it's worth a look if anyone's interested, or if anyone has the wants to get into agriculture but don't think they have the space, don't think they have the time to to help cultivate any of their plants. I mean, there's still an application that could work and be profitable.
I just found cocoa core bricks.
That's what I use to start my soil base is cocoa core bricks. You got to make sure you get it from a good source, and you got to make sure if you're going to use it for soil, building soil, you got to wash it, because coconut trees are grown in salty conditions.
Mm-hmm.
That they are.
So the coconut husk itself is salty, and some companies do wash it and triple wash it like they do kale and stuff to get all the salts out. But I hear that you should still DIY when it comes to that. So a lot of people stay away from cocoa core because it's complicated. It's not complicated to use, it's just extra steps you have to do to properly use it. But yeah, I got to look into it on microgreens. I don't know if you have to completely wash it since it's only a week, and the greens don't need nutrition. They are the nutrition. So
with microgreens, you wouldn't add, because like I said, I do a lot of them now. You wouldn't add any extra nutrition. It's whatever in the starter soil you would want it to be there. That's it. because
Yeah.
they're not going to be there that long.
Yep. So you don't want to
When they
wait for
say
a whole
10 to
bunch
14
of,
days, 10 to
it's
14
really
days
that.
is the max. Sometimes
Exactly.
you'll start seeing it in 7 ready to be clipped.
Mm. Ooh, double cousin, I got some questions.
I mean, if there's nothing else on the subject, we can go ahead and get out of here for the day, get started.
Salivations.
Salad time.
Salivations. Continue on your genealogical journey. Genealogy is important. Genealogy is key. Know who you are so that no one can tell you who you are. Pass that information along to your children, your family, your friends, your neighbors, so that they can know who they are and no one can tell them who they are. Genealogy is important and is key. Anyone telling you not to do genealogy, that it isn't important and that it isn't key, well, who's their mamas and daddies? Who's their grandmas and granddaddies? Who wouldn't want to know who they come from and where they come from? So, continue to do your genealogy. Period. Just continue to do your genealogy. Genealogy, as we have gone over so many times, um, is tied to and attached to so many different things that we don't realize now. So many different things that we don't, that are tied to many aspects of our lives. So, yeah, continue to do your genealogy. Pass that information along. Again, know who you are so that no one can tell you who you are. Census Day was April 1st. While Census Day was April 1st, it has been extended out to October 31st. So still have time to do the census. Do the census. Not just because it's required by law, but because you're making yourself count so that you can count. The census that is extended out to October 31st is the decennial 10-year census. But also the ACS census is happening alongside the decennial census. It takes all of maybe 10 minutes to do the 10-year census. Do that census, knock it out real quick. If your address is selected to receive one of the ACS census, fill it out. Your address being selected to receive the ACS census makes you a representative for your neighbors, for your community, for your city. So fill the census out. Make yourself count so that you can count. The census is one of many ways we get our voices out there. If you do not fill out the census, again, if you do not participate in the census, someone else is participating for you. If you don't get your voice out there on that census, someone else got their voice out there for you. If you don't fill out the census and you work for a company, that company filled out the census for you. You live in a city, that city filled out a census for you. That county, that state filled out the census for you. So again, fill out the census, do the census, make yourself count so that you can count. It is one of many ways that our voices get out there. In addition to, the census is tied to so many different aspects of our daily lives and our interactions. When we're pulling records for genealogy, we're pulling census records. So who will be looking for you 150 years from now? Businesses and funding and programs, establishments, hospitals, schools, businesses that are being built up, neighborhoods, all those are in direct reflection of the census for those who do participate and those who don't. So again, get actively involved, do the census, know what's going on with your city, get those notifications in your county and in your state, know what's going on. With that being said, peace to the panel, peace to the chat, peace to the silent majority. Shout out to you, Double Cousin, for your wise words. Appreciate you. I'm gonna learn
What
a
you
lot
did?
from you today. You hit me in the head with all kind of stuff, growing
Oh, hey,
stuff,
hey, now.
vegetable stuff, soil stuff,
Prove it.
nutrient stuff.
She's
Prove it.
She's
It's not a
awfully
problem.
happy, but just been hitting the head.
Mhm. Ah. Shout out to A2, double cousin Bones, Copper. I'm telling you, I learned a lot today. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
learn
why
a
we
lot
here.
every day. Yeah, I learn a lot every day, and it's really exciting and fun and amazing to find out what you learn from gardening slash farming slash growing slash agribusiness and agriculture. It's really fun, interesting, shocking, and amazing to see all the intricate things, the science part, the knowledge part, the I mean, it's all knowledge, but just to see what comes out of what all is under agriculture. It's really, really amazing. So yeah. Wise words. Thank you, double cousin. Appreciate you. A man loses his illusions first, his teeth second, and his follies last. And lastly, I had it. Oh, all problems are illusions of the mind. Peace to the panel, peace to the chat, peace to the silent majority.
All right. What you got for no salad? Oh, I thought you was over there growing microgreens too.
I know, right?
You
I
know
already
he
started.
is, right?
Day one. So, man, peace to the chat. Plural. And anybody else is going to check out the show later. Get your green thumb on. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, and or corrections about that, you can still email us at the same email address. It's not even separated. Consciousnessassembly@gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat. Hit the Zoom link for the post show. Get down. Get down. Everybody is there usually. The usual suspects, I mean. Shout out
Make
to
sure you
y'all.
can get
Y'all
back
making
up though if you get down though. You got to
Yeah.
tell them. Make sure you can get back up if you get down.
We've heard stories. Shout out to RVA. I ain't gonna say no names. Pamela Hall. Shout out to everybody in the chat though. And yeah, any information that you need help with, you can always hit us up. We don't have a problem with that. We don't shun anybody away. Doesn't matter what you do in life. Well, it does matter. But yeah, reach out. Reach out. Get your green on. All right. Challenge them. Peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.
All right, for NDO, what you got for them?
All right. I'm trying to give y'all back as much of your Friday as I can. Agriculture is our culture. And I think this year has taught me this lesson more than any. And I've been growing stuff here and there for last, I want to say 4 years. But the importance of it, I think, has gotten to a new level for me. I talked with No Sellout about some local land here that really could be turned into something really beautiful. As right now, it's just an abandoned restaurant parking lot, but it could be turned into something really beautiful if given the right care. And I think that part has stayed with me. Some laws have changed in Virginia this year that I think will make it easier to grow a lot more things. And there are federal programs that we've seen in the last couple of months that have blown my mind. So not today, but this year has been a transformative year for me as far as my understanding of agriculture and its importance. This wasn't the subject matter, but we've seen some pretty disturbing things going on in our country. and we're allowing a lot of our cities to burn. And a lot of our people still don't know who they are, but they're also, because of that, in a way, they're allowing their homes, their businesses to go up in smoke. And there's an opportunity. We've seen it because we talk about it often. But so many people have no idea about the opportunity we have if we just get out of this system that we're in. And I don't mean that we go and we try to get out of dealing with the federal government or our state or local government or anything like that. But get out by the system, I mean our mindset, what our culture is, what our way is, and how we operate, how we deal with each other. That has to change. And when that changes and we go back to the land like we were meant to be, I think then we can start seeing real change. But when it comes to that, I think it's incumbent upon all of us to make sure that we not only look out for our people, but also teach them about our real culture, not some culture someone gave us. Not mumble rap, not trap music, not looting stores and TikTok videos. This stuff that was given to us. What our real culture is on the land. So, with that said, I'll let y'all get back to it, and hopefully you have an enjoyable weekend, and we go into the next week doing the work of the Creator. Thank you all.
All right, Gabrielle, no sellout, Copper Indio. Thank you again for the work that you put in every rising. Also, the active chat and the silent majority, because it takes all parties coming together to make it possible to keep this consistent. And again, what do we cover this rising? Some more information that we can use immediately. So for anyone telling you that you have to compromise yourself or your family just to become self-sufficient, that isn't true. By simply just growing something that a lot of us do naturally and doing it at a rate to where you can produce for outside communities is a way to bring in a profit. So, and it also attaches us back to the land and our culture. That we do have an opportunity to fix the conditions of our community. That by us being active and producing for ourselves again, that we can put ourselves back to where we belong. So to all my American Indians, continue the work that you're doing in your community. Continue finding out what programs that you can access today to make it better for tomorrow. Continue your work on genealogy and passing the information on. So anyone who wishes to know who they are will know the process of getting it done. So until we link up to the next Rising show or live stream, remember we love you and peace.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, y'all.
Get your green on.
Warning, warning, warning. Hard hats, pickaxe, shovels, boots required.